This summer, I found myself roaming the narrow streets of Porto, with the anticipation of a new journey towards Santiago de Compostela. I last visited this city 6 years prior, as a relaxing wind-down after a 500-mile solo walk along the Camino Frances. This time around, I was joined by my wife and 2-year-old son, with our hearts and minds ready to walk the central route of the Camino Portuguese. After picking up our pilgrim's passports at the Porto Cathedral, we launched into the first of a planned 10-day pilgrimage towards Spain. We would journey north and cover 150 miles on a path to the cathedral in Santiago. The first sights of yellow arrows and steps upon cobblestones instantly brought me back to the most memorable summer of my life. The peace of mind found in the rhythm of every step, the cherished volley of Camino greetings with fellow pilgrims, and the anchor of a fixed routine. Knowing the days ahead would only require us to wake up and walk. It was time to make new memories with my newly minted peregrinos. The first stage of the Camino Portuguese leading out of Porto is a demoralizing treadmill of city blocks inlaid with heavy traffic. There were a few nerve-wracking moments where we encountered blind turns on shoulderless roads. I wouldn't have thought twice about such paths on a solo journey, but I was really feeling the responsibilities of parenthood tugging at me around every turn. Owen didn't seem to mind the surroundings one bit though, and after a fast-paced morning, he passed out for a long nap. His timing was perfect, as it allowed Julia and I to increase our walking pace and bolt through the heavy rain that began to fall as we reached our accommodations for the night. Our second day on the Camino started out much like the first. We decided to take a long breakfast in Rates before venturing out into the gray and drizzling skies. We finally got to leave the city streets behind and stepped into the romanticized version of the Camino that I remembered so well. Dirt paths, beautiful trees, and stone walls, leading the way under expressive skies. The sticky paths and mud puddles only added to the pageantry. Having already walked one Camino pilgrimage, it was fun for me to see Owen and Julia experiencing their first. A big part of me wondered how things would be for me with an established point of reference, and from the onset, a quote from T.S. Eliot seemed to hold the answer. And the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. We stopped for a long lunch in Carvajal before making our way to Barcelos. The sounds coming from the church held us in a trance and pushed us forward to Barcelos and our accommodations for the night. One of my favorite moments from the entire Camino Portuguese is the walk into the town of Barcelos. It starts by crossing the Ponte de Barcelos bridge with a view of the Paço dos Condes, or Palace of the Courts. This building used to be the palace of the Dukes of Braganza until it was destroyed by an earthquake in 1755. From there, we stood in front of the Solar dos Pinheiros, next to a rooster, the symbol of Barcelos. Owen really loved looking at the rooster and decided to transform into one for the next hour. There are many stories as to why the rooster became a significant symbol of Barcelos, but one of the most popular goes like this. A wealthy man threw a big party, and when the party was over, he realized that his sterling cutlery had been stolen by a guest. He accused a pilgrim, and the pilgrim went to court. The pilgrim protested his innocence, but the judge didn't believe him. After the trial, the judge was about to eat a roasted rooster when the pilgrim said, "If I am innocent, this rooster will crow 3 times. The judge did not listen, but just as the pilgrim was about to be hanged, the rooster crowed. On this account, the judge released the pilgrim. The pilgrim returned a few years after and made a statue where the event occurred. That spot is located right here in the town of Barcelos. We left Paço dos Condes and made our way towards our hotel while chasing our little rooster. We were all looking forward to a nice big pilgrim-style dinner, but as is often the case along the way, the Camino had a little extra Camino magic in store for us.